Here in Paris, we are paying very close attention to all of our Georgia athletes hitting the track and field for this Olympic season. So we had to bring out the hometown favorite, Olympic legend Edwin Moses, joining us here in Paris on set. Edwin, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I came here first when I was 15 years old, and I'm back again.
I heard some fun stories about that before we were on air, but we'll talk about those after air. Edwin, thank you so much. So just talking about your history, your legend that you have left behind, 122 undefeated races. Now we're here in 2024. Talk to me about the sights and sounds. How are you feeling about the Olympics right now being here in Paris?
I feel fantastic because it's beautiful weather. It's warm for Paris, not warm for us in Atlanta
Yes,
at all. It's a cool night for us.
Yeah.
And just a backdrop, looking at the Eiffel Tower behind you and all the fantastic buildings. The city is a great place to have it. You don't have to have an agenda to find some place to eat. Great food, great drinks, and I really just love the city.
I want to talk to you a little bit about one reason you came here. You showed a special screening of a film that is going to come out, Morehouse College, September 21st. Just a little bit about your life. Can you talk to us about the premiere and what that film means to you?
There's a documentary that's imminent. We're going to show it at the Morehouse Human Rights Film Festival, September 21st, where we have the world premiere. It'll be open to the public. And it's a film that's been in the making for 3 years about my life and the running and working with social justice, drug testing, amateurism, track and field, the Cold War, what it was like then. So it's a real synopsis, like a time capsule of the time period in which I lived in, from being a teenager, watching Tommy Smith at the Olympic Games and how that affected people like myself and Spike Lee and Sam Jackson and Neil deGrasse Tyson, who are interviewed in the film. So it's a synopsis of what we were seeing, how it affected me on the track, and what the general atmosphere. So it's a very different type of approach to a documentary.
We are so excited to see it, and we're not going to give a lot away because you guys can go and catch it at Morehouse September 21st.
That's right.
But Edwin, I want to talk to you just about the athleticism that we're seeing from some of these athletes. Some of those athletes raced at your Invitational in Atlanta. You've been following some of them. Some of them already won their races. There are still some races to come. Mental, physical. What are these athletes needing to do to make sure that they're like you, being able to win 122 straight?
Well, I think there's 12 to 15 athletes that were at the Edwin Moses Legends meet at Morehouse College, including Sydney McLaughlin, that are on Olympic teams. I think we've won some medals, which is impressive to me, to be able to sponsor world-class athletes at an HBCU for the first time, and then see them compete in the Olympics. But at this point, it's really about focus, because everything is different. At the Morehouse meet, everyone was walking around on the field, having a good time, children on the field. Here, you're really isolated. From the time you hit that training track, you're isolated from your coach and everything else. And so it's really a test of nerves. And those who have the strong nerves, who can remain calm, are the ones that have a better likelihood of winning a medal if they perform well.
Now, in your documentary, you said something along the lines of, when I went into a race, I was prepared. I knew that I was going to win. If you beat me once, you're never going to be able to beat me again. How did you know that? How did you do that?
I trained hard and made sure that I always lost until I won. That was the main thing. So I never won races until Olympic year in '76. Then once I reached the world-class level, then I started beating people. Then my ego kicked in, and I figured I might as well train harder so I can continue winning and continue running. And track and field is incremental. I mean, it took me years to really get to that point. And once I got there, I knew it. And I just went back to the drawing board and worked any harder.
Talking about your race, the 400-meter hurdle, we're seeing hurdlers on the track. You said something about, you know what, you guys can do what you want to do, but the race for me starts after the 7th or 8th hurdle.
Correct.
Did that strategy work for you, and should these athletes be doing that as well?
It depends on the type of hurdle race you run. For me, I had a very fast start, very consistent first half of the race. I didn't have to run all out. Once I got out and got rolling, then I could kind of relax a bit. And then for me, in the 400 hurdles, it's hurdles 7 through 10. That's where fatigue is going to cut in. That's where, when you get tired, you may or may not be as effective running the hurdles. You may run on the left leg when you're supposed to run on the right leg. So all those kind of factors are going to be key to seeing who wins the 400 hurdles tonight. Sydney McLaughlin and Femke Bowl are both outstanding athletes at the top of the game. Whether you're talking about hurdles, 400 hurdles, or flat, both of those are top, just top athletes. And they're going to be battling. It's going to be down to whoever blinks first, whoever makes a mistake. Any mistake is going to put them at a disadvantage. But I would like to see both of them run a perfect race, and I think if that happens, there's going to be a world record.
And I just wanted my last question for you, the difference between track and field when you were running and what you're seeing today. Have there been any improvements when we're talking about, I know you were very passionate about anti-doping, when it comes to salaries? What has changed and what still needs to be done?
The salaries and the fact that athletes can be compensated. I mean, I was campaigning for that back in the 70s. We got the rules changed in 1981, so I'm happy that athletes, not only in track and field, but all Olympic sports are able to be compensated. In track and field, the materials have changed. The tracks are a lot different. The shoes are a lot different. They have carbon fibers in there, which are sort of like hard springs. The tracks are made specifically for those kinds of shoes. But in some events, it really doesn't matter. For example, Tommy Smith ran 19.83. It was at altitude in Mexico City, but that was 1968. And that time could have gotten him into the finals here in Paris. The times I was running in the early 80s could have at least got me on the Olympic team. So in some events, it doesn't really matter. Other events have moved forward.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. Is there anything else you'd like to put out there?
I'd just like to say I hope the fans in Atlanta join the Olympics. It's fantastic. Everyone here is having a good time. Traffic is low. It's just fantastic. I'm glad to be here, and my son is here with me, so we're having a good time.
Well, thank you so much for coming up here and speaking with us. We'll see you back in Atlanta.
Thank you. Thanks.